we are located here, and I know that, and I'm sure all of you read the Los Angeles Times, that the city of Los Angeles is doing a lot to support green businesses coming here. I mean, the mayor just announced a big solar plan where the goal is to basically rent rooftops of flat top roofs where solar panels will be installed, and that energy will go back into the grid, which is a great economic stimulus. There's a whole green corridor that the mayor's office, in conjunction with the redevelopment organization, are trying to attract businesses to come here by offering very attractive build and lease opportunities, starting from the port, heading through downtown and up and beyond. So I think that the city is really committed to this, and there are a lot of opportunities for businesses to come and have special packages put together. In fact, I've been working with them on creating some of these incentive packages for businesses, introductions to people at the port, people at the Department of Water and Power, so they can come here and have a base, an economic base, business. So I think that the city is doing a lot, and there's a lot of promise.
Does your organization invest in public-private partnerships with entrepreneurs, or do you see that as being an opportunity and a trend and something that entrepreneurs should consider in their business initiatives, to find a way to dovetail public initiatives in a way to partner with public-private partnerships? And do you see any of that in your?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. In fact, that's a lot of what I commit my time to is sort of getting to the bottom of that. And I think that, as we've seen, as you mentioned, in the federal government and the local government, there's a lot of opportunity there.
Gotcha. Thanks. Brett, so you're a hedge fund guy, and so you're out there in the heat of it all with the public markets, and at the same time you've managed to find your way investing in privately with a private company. I also know that you've invested in some clean tech companies overseas. What's your criteria for investment in today's marketplace?
Well, I think one thing that I think a lot of investors missed. I'm just going to talk about solar for a minute. These companies had a rock and roll year in 2007 and 2008. The brakes were put on, and really starting probably in mid-December of 2007, prices started to fall off, and they've really accelerated the last few months. It goes back to really looking at fundamentals. Solar panels are no different than anything else in the market. I think people kind of miss that they're a commodity. They're not that much unlike oil. They produce electricity. They're pretty standard in specification. A lot of companies can make them. A lot of companies make the machinery that makes solar panels. There's a lot of different varieties out there. I think if you're going to jump in and invest in a market like that, you better start understanding, well, what are the drivers for it? And certainly, what we found on the solar side was a lot of the huge margins in 2007 were driven by the European market, where companies were selling panels in euros for the same price they were selling here in dollars, meaning they got about a 50% premium. Once the market kind of started saying, hey, the Europeans are going to start tailing off their purchases, and the U.S. has got to pick up the pace. Well, guess what? All the margins are getting cut. On top of that, we're seeing probably a doubling again of capacity next year. So we're hitting this incredible wall where I don't think anyway that there's going to be enough demand out there to meet the oncoming supply of panels. So then you better know, okay, well, what are the new technologies coming out? There's third generation plastic panels coming out, flexible thin film that's going to be much less expensive to make. They're going to have their time in the sun, so time to start looking for those companies as they may be coming public in the next 12 to 18 months. Again, it's a commodity product though, and they may have just a short time frame where their stocks really, go up. The great news is, if you're looking at that on the installation side, if you're an installer, your prices are going to be coming down considerably over the next couple of years, and that's just excellent for not only the consumers, but for the installers too, because there's going to be a lot of business, especially with the U.S. Getting on this big push. So I'd really look to be in the installation business. I think it's going to be a great place to invest and to make some money. So again, you got to kind of look very closely at what's going on. I think wind's going to be excellent, but it's typically bigger projects, and you're going to be seeing more and more wind developments because it's just got the best cost. You can basically build wind capacity now much cheaper than coal even. So coal's going to be gone shortly. We all hope that's going to happen, and maybe we'll even it's a very exciting time. And I think also when you look at grid and our grid management, that's going to be a huge area that's going to be coming online, and very, very important in terms of basically running a new internet over the grid so we can control our electricity and know where we're producing and where we're consuming, and be able to level our loads. And it's difficult to describe right here on the panel, but there will be a lot of opportunities in routing the electricity around from renewable sources to where it's needed. And with plug-in hybrids coming online here in the next few years, that's really it's going to be a very, very dynamic marketplace. So electricity is the future.